I think we can do more than we thought. And I think what's good, I'm always looking for, I'm Pollyanna. Somebody called me that years ago and I
Yeah.
didn't know the reference. I had to look it up. And I got back to her. I said, I am Pollyanna. You're right. So I look at the positive. And right now, I feel like that's a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think with that, that people will find their voice. People
Mhm.
will finally speak up because they'll finally have things that are that important to them. That's a good thing. That's going to make many of us much stronger. And that's
Mhm.
going to be good for the world, not just for our country.
Right.
Welcome to Oh Shit, I'm Dead, the Legacy Podcast, the show where we ask the big question: what will they say about you when you're gone? Each week, we sit down with icons, trailblazers, and legends in the making to dive into their stories, scandals, and the legacies they're leaving behind. And now, here's your host, the video godfather himself, Lou Bortone.
Hey, welcome back to the Oh Shit, I'm Dead Legacy Podcast. I'm here with my longtime friend and colleague, Connie Ragen Green. Thank you so much, Connie, for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you after all this time. We've crossed paths many times at different conferences and events, and thank you for having me at your event not too long ago. So it's good to reconnect and catch up. And I thought, okay, who do I really want to talk to? Because honestly, this podcast is all about basically making sure that I actually talk to people. And because I have a tendency, especially when things are a little crazy in the world, to hide under the bed and not reach out to anyone. So I'm like, if I have a weekly podcast, then I'll force myself to talk to the folks who I want to talk with. So thank you.
Yeah. And this business allows us to only talk to the people we want to talk to. I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how are things on your coast? Because things on the coast are a little wacky right now.
Yeah, a little wacky here on the left coast for sure. And I think navigating the world, it's never easy,
Right.
but it doesn't usually feel like it feels right now, like everything has just is spinning out of control.
Yeah, it's nuts. So, and that's one of the other reasons I jumped into this whole thing was like, I want to just have conversations with folks that just aren't about video or technology or that kind of stuff and go a little deeper and say, okay, we've both had a relatively long life and experiences so far. And you've been an inspiration to me for many years and somebody that I've followed for a really long time. I don't know how you do so much and keep it all going, but is there a particular way that you would like to be remembered after we're not here?
Thank you so much for your kind comment, Lou. I do think about legacy. I have family on two continents. So here
Yeah.
in the United States, actually in California now, they're all here. And then also I have people over in Finland.
Yeah.
And when I first started bringing them here to America, I told them I wanted them to know that life was bigger than their little town of 5,000 people who they are in Finland. So I thought about that. And I think I want to be remembered for somebody that serves others. That's a big thing for me. I really love to help. I always tell people I'm a good helper
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. I want to serve. But then the writing has made all difference for me. It was something I wanted to do when I was younger, and I didn't do it until I came online and felt like I had to write. And now I just published my 29th book.
That's amazing.
I'm really excited. And that's this book. Here I have books I'm going to hold
Yeah.
up.
Peak productivity. Yeah.
Activity. This was my book last year. This is Marketing in Your
God.
Underwear. And that isn't me. This is my favorite book.
Oh, yeah, I have that one.
I took cross country. But I think the writing is the legacy I really want to leave to show people they can do anything. They can achieve anything they want to achieve.
That's amazing. And getting any book out is no small task. And having as many as you have and being as prolific as you are is really impressive. And you did all that like before AI could write a book for you, right?
That's right. I just yesterday wrote my first book in AI, which means I didn't do the writing. I just did the prompts.
Yeah.
And it felt very weird when it was, but I am going to publish it as Kindle only.
Yeah.
And in my belief of serving as being a wonderful thing to do, I let AI create a course based on the book.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to give people the PLR rights to that course when they pick up the book. It'll be a 99-cent book. They'll get the course. And I think people will be very excited because they'll have something that's really already written for them to
That's
share.
awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I knew you'd find a way to leverage the AI stuff to make it even better. And you really do, because I see your volunteer stuff and I see all the different things you're doing in not just one community, but a few communities, because you have a few different locations. So thank you for that. I think these days, especially, all that grassroots kind of stuff, because I often think, oh, what can I do? I'm just one person. If everybody stops saying that, we might be able to do something together.
I think we can do more than we thought. And I think what's good, I'm always looking for, I'm Pollyanna. Somebody called me that years ago and I
Yeah.
didn't know the reference. I had to look it up. And I got back there and I said, I am Pollyanna. You're right. So look at the positive. And right now, I feel like that's a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think with that people will find their voice. People will finally speak up because they'll finally have things that are that important to them. That's a good thing. That's going to make many of us much stronger. And that's going to be good for the world, not just for our country.
Right. Absolutely. So the other thing when we talk about legacy is, I mean, you may have a little bit of a different perspective of this because I know you've had health scares in the past and things like that. Did that change your perspective on life at all, having survived those things?
No, it really didn't. And I always
No?
feel bad about that. So I'm a 4-time cancer survivor. I've had other things. And I know
Yeah.
the first time, that's what people kept saying to me, that now I'll appreciate the little things. And
Yeah.
even immediately I thought, no, I think I already appreciate the little thing.
That's the thing. You started with a good attitude and with appreciation. Like for somebody like me that's sarcastic and like maybe that would make a difference, but you were already, yeah. So if you were Pollyanna before, you're still Pollyanna now.
Yeah, because I think I've always, and maybe because I grew up very poor, it was just my mom, and I started working, doing little side hustles before that was a phrase.
Yeah.
When I was young. So I think maybe I've always appreciated little things. And with the health scares, I don't know, I guess I trust the medical community, or hopefully we don't have to rethink that part.
Really?
But yeah, I think that I really have put my trust in them. I know when I had cancer the first time, I had stage 3 breast cancer, and I
Yep.
was really the only one that was sure I was going to live. Everybody else was saying how many months I had left, and I thought that's so weird to hear people say that because I don't believe that at all. But
Yeah.
I wasn't the best patient. I really wasn't. And so years later, I wrote to the oncologist that had saved my life. And I thanked him, and I even turned it into a blog post. So
Well,
everything that goes in combination with the marketing. But I
yeah.
said, thank you for saving my life. I know it wasn't easy to deal with me at the time, but I want to tell you what I've been doing with my life. And he wrote back to me, and he was already like 75 or more years old. And he was really grateful that I had shared that I had become a teacher and I had done different things. And now I had an online business and was an author. So interesting.
That's cool. And again, it's all attitude, right? You just never even considered the fact that you might have days were numbered. So
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. One of the things that I know a little about you, but I've never, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever asked you about this, because you were a teacher, you were in real estate, you had all kinds of really different careers. At what point did you decide to become an online entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I was in my 20s. I struggled. I worked at banks. I was held up at gunpoint twice. So with me, I didn't learn my lesson once. It was the second time. And my mother said, Connie, why do you take these jobs? And my mother was right. And
Yeah.
so finally, I got away from that, and I did a variety of things. I was a claims adjuster for Liberty Mutual Insurance, but all of those, they were jobs, they weren't careers. And I not only didn't love them, I really didn't even like them.
Mm.
When I was doing real estate, so I was a real estate broker and a residential appraiser. I went into the office one morning, and it was in January of 1986. And people were gathered around a really tiny black and white TV somebody had brought in, and it was the Challenger space.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yep.
as I got back there, they were showing the school where Krista McAuliffe worked in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
They were showing everything. They showed her parents and her husband, and her son and daughter broke apart. Then everything happened and everybody was silent. And they showed her kids. They showed in the cafeteria. I'm getting goosebumps. They showed in the cafeteria, they just panned the audience of the kids.
Oh my God.
And I thought I had wanted to be a teacher. I'm going to be a teacher. And many people were inspired in that way at that moment. Many
Yeah.
people went into the service. Many people went for a new career, all those things. Within a year, I was in a classroom, I was teaching, and I loved it very much. I loved my students. I loved my families. The administrators and some of the teachers, not so much, because
Yeah.
I assumed everybody loved children. No, and children of color. No,
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Why would you be in education if you like kids?
It's like getting a job at a pet store if you're allergic to cats' hair,
Right.
the fur or something. That's not good. I was there for 20 years. And during that time, you get older, you have more aches and pains. I had cancer and everything. And I thought, I really have to do, because I did real estate while I was teaching. So I'd have
Oh,
enough
yeah.
money. It really
Yeah.
was never enough money. And we went on strike the first year. And I thought, while everybody else was rambling, I was going into the real estate office in the afternoons. And I thought, I really need something else. So I began to pray. I said, God, please, I need a new life. That's really what I want. I want a new life. I want more time. I don't want to always be paycheck to paycheck and have to work on the weekends and evenings and stuff in real estate just to have enough money. Because I was
Yeah.
helping my mom. She was getting Social Security, which wasn't much. So I was helping her. And I thought something's going to come that will be the answer to this. I just knew. And sure enough, I was invited to an evening seminar where people were talking about their digital products and online. And one woman stood up and she had a box that had CDs in it, and that was her course.
Wow.
And I thought I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And so I made my 1 year plan, and I was able to resign from teaching at the end of the following school year. I gave away my real estate clients. I cashed out my retirement money
Oh
from
my gosh.
the teachers thing, right? I bought a new house 30 miles away
Huh.
and with a much bigger house payment. And house payments in California are big already.
Yeah.
I made the jump. And
Oh my
then
God.
a month later or so, school ends June 30th, and there I am at my computer, and I'm thinking, you know what? How was I actually going to make money? I might have missed that part. And so I thought I have to really dedicate myself to learning to write, because my writing was really horrible. I wasn't used to writing. I was teaching, not teaching writing, not writing.
Yeah.
So everything came together for me, and I've just really never looked back. But I'm dedicated to helping others do anything they want to do online to do something similar to what I've done. So that's my story.
That's great. And I know you walk the walk and talk the talk. And interesting thing is, I think you always start, or at least one of the things I learned from you, you really start from a place of service. And I think that's probably why, in my opinion, that's why things have worked out really well. Because if you go into it like I did and say, I need to make this much money in 1 year, then the universe is going to have a little backlash for you. No, I think I worked in California as well, in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And I had a good job and was making money, corner office, all that. So when I left that to go and do online stuff, I thought, how hard could it possibly be? Yeah, now we're laughing because we know it. Not only is it hard, but it changes every 3 months, so that whatever you did 6 months ago doesn't work anymore.
That's right. That's right. And I don't know all these years what I would have done without you, Lou. You're always the voice of reason that brings me down to earth and says, no, here, let me show you what I'm doing with video and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been a wild ride. One of the things I try to ask on this podcast, because again, you've reinvented yourself over the years. If you could go back and give your 20-year-old self some advice, knowing what you know now, what might you say to that young Connie?
Oh boy, it's 20 years old. I guess stop letting other people tell me who I am and what I should do or not do.
Yeah.
And really listen to myself, trust myself, and do the things that make my heart sing, the things that I love and that I enjoy. And
Yeah.
instead, I was trying to please other people and taking jobs in the process, and it just didn't work out. And I thought that teaching perhaps was going to be the answer, because back when I was 20, I had thought about being
Yeah.
a school teacher and everything, but then, it wasn't the same. So I think the most important thing is we have to get to know ourselves.
Yeah.
like we would a close friend, be the best friend that you have, and then go for those things that you want to. Don't take no for an answer, and just believe in yourself and believe in the possibilities, and
Yeah.
you'll be able to do anything you want to do. Anyone that you talk to that has, great success with something, that's what they did either from the beginning or
Yeah.
finally. They believed in themselves and they went for it.
So that it took me a while to figure out, but that's amazing. The other thing I like to ask that is fun is, okay, now they're going to make the Connie Ragen Green story. Who would you like to play you in the movie version?
All right. I don't know if I can remember her name. So did you ever see a show called Rhoda?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it was the one here. The name might be coming to me because I always forget her name.
I think Valerie Harper was the Rhoda character.
And then her friend, the younger friend,
Yep.
do you remember her?
Oh man, was she a New Yorker kind of
A
character?
New Yorker, yes. And people told me back then that I looked like her. And I used to look at her and I never could see it until later. And I thought she was so good. She was funny, but not silly or anything. And I love that New York. I lived a year and a half in New York. I love New York.
Oh yeah.
And New England. Okay. And I felt I know. I got her name. I got it.
Oh, good.
It came to me. Julie Kavner. That's her name. Do you remember the name?
Yes. In fact,
Her.
that she is the voice of Marge Simpson.
That's right. See, I should know that if nothing else. I love that how you transmitted a brain fart into my mind and helped the name. That's better than AI.
That's great. I know, because that's the thing. I just keep having my thoughts just disappear out of my head and I go into a moment of spacing. So and again, that might be my somewhat advanced age. And I know we're around the same age. And people I know some of our peers and some of my friends are at that age where they're like winding down and retiring. I can't even imagine that. Do you?
No, I don't understand the concept. I honestly don't. Yeah. And when I'm at a doctor's office or somewhere where I need to give information, they want to know my birth. I was born in 1955 and I'm 39.
Yeah.
And they usually don't say anything. They just keep looking down. And I'd say, I think it's a math problem.
Yes. So just tell them you're born on a leap year. So
yeah, I keep leaping.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the thing. Maybe it's entrepreneurship. Maybe it's being self-employed, but it's non-voluntary. But I can't even imagine.
No,
I don't know what
because this is the life.
But that's the thing. You go where you want to go and do what you want to do. I know you go overseas once in a while.
Yes.
You go to Scandinavia. I go to Italy. And I'm like, I would be doing the same thing if I was retired. So I might as well just keep working.
We'll do it now. Yeah, because I want to join you on one of those Italy trips one of these days.
Yes.
I've been there one time. I had a client that lived half time in Italy. And I loved it so very much. But I was seeing it through her eyes. An American who lived there half the time. I want to see it through your eyes and the other people that you connect with there.
I'm going with this year. I'm going with my sister because her daughter is studying over there. And for the first time, I've been there many times, but this is the first time I'm going to try to go back to my grandmother and grandfather's hometown in southern Italy.
Oh, wow.
And see if I can track down a few Bortones. Maybe I'll tell them they owe me money or something. So
that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So what other plans do you have coming up? You're always working on cool stuff, always writing, always creating content. What do you have coming up in the next summer?
Yeah, so I have my 12-week author program, and in that course, I write another book. So when I first started teaching it, I was doing it twice a year. I've done it for about 7 years now. And I realized during the first hour of the first class that I needed to write a book along with everybody else to show them my process and how I can do it in about 6 weeks if I choose to, with me writing everything.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that again, but this time I promise to share more information about doing things with AI. The last time I did it, so about 6 months ago, I showed them how to use AI to write their outline and their chapters.
Right.
And that worked. But this time I'm going to show them how to do even more with AI. That's something we're choosing to do.
I know. It's just amazing. I was on another conference this morning. I don't want to use it as a crutch because you can get lazy and just say, I'm going to go to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But it can also be an enabler in terms of oh, okay, I can make this actually sound better, or maybe it's touching into something that I hadn't thought of before. So I think it gives you a great head start.
It really does. And I know with the outline for this book, the one that I just published that I showed
Yeah.
you, the peak perform productivity, I had it write an outline and then I had it rewrite the outline in great detail. And
Hmm.
boy, did that make a difference. This book
Yeah.
is so much better with AI's help. It
That's
honestly
cool.
is.
And how did you do the actual, was it print on demand, or did you do the covers and the formatting and
Well,
that stuff?
yeah, actually, so yes, so everything I do is print on demand. I do it through Amazon. And
Yep.
actually, for this cover image, and I tell people that's me, but
Yeah.
it's not. I went to Deposit Photos. That's where I usually am searching for covers, and they
Hmm.
said, if you want to try our new AI, you
Ooh.
can. And I thought I'll do it. And so I did 3 different times where I wrote a phrase of what I wanted to say, what I
Yeah.
wanted it to look like. On the third try, they gave me this one, and I
That's
thought
great.
I like this. I'm not going any further. Then I have a wonderful person that puts everything together.
Hmm.
And you'll notice this is matte finish.
Yep.
All I have to do is go into my KDP account and change it to glossy. And the very
Oh,
next
cool.
one they published for somebody and print for someone would be glossy. So I go back and
Yeah.
forth. So I get it both ways.
Yeah. Thank goodness for print on demand. We'd both
Right.
have garages full of books.
Yes, that's the way it used to be.
All right. So, final question on legacy. I keep telling I think my wife's going to live to be 100 because all of her family has longevity. So she'll probably outlast me. So I tell her, make sure that you have really good music at my memorial service.
Yes.
You had, and I talk at the walk, like somebody goes on stage, they have a walk on song. And I talk about what's your walk off song?
I
They're
love
going to play you out to.
I love music. I share on X every evening. I share a song that's something I'm listening to. So I'm
Mhm.
going to say anything by David Byrne from Talking
Cool. Yeah.
for him.
Oh,
I
I
love
love him.
him
Yeah.
so much. I'm so glad he lives far away. I'd be like stalking him and saying, David, I know
Yeah.
we have a lot in common, but anything from him, if you just
That's cool.
play some of his albums and that music,
Mhm.
that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that era and Talking Heads and all that good stuff. And he's had a resurgence the last few years. It's awesome.
Yes. Love the new stuff.
And I found I re-stumbled upon him because I like an artist whose name is St. Vincent, Kenny
Yes.
Clark. But they
And
work together.
yeah, and I wasn't familiar with her. And first I thought, wait, is this a girlfriend? Because I really do care for this man. But no, they're doing music and yeah, and her stuff. And I've seen her now doing things alone and with other people, and her
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
is excellent.
Yep. So cool. We'll have, if nothing else, we'll have good playlists when you plan this out. Thanks so much for chatting with me. It's so good to catch up with you again.
Thank you, Lou. You are awesome.
Thanks for watching. Oh Shit, I'm Dead, the Legacy Podcast. Please subscribe and tell your friends about the podcast, and do it now while you're still alive and kicking. Check out other episodes at ohshitimdead.com.